Perfectly normal radio. It sounds a little something like this.
Normally I'd yell at you, computer guy, but I also was fooled. Therefore, obviously, it's a it's a perfectly okay mistake.
Welcome to Perfectly Normal Radio, where we've had a bit of a slowdown recently. There was death and school and work and locusts, and for some reason I still dread doing this part. I don't know why, but we've got some shit to share now. So, what we did is we chopped up a nice conversation into some tasty bits, and over the next month or so, we'll be talking about toys from the 80s and 90s, crows, snakes and spiders, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and this idea we heard about where a think tank of bohemians, real estate agents, and a whole shrewdness of other basic tool users are going to tell us what art is and how it is supposed to enrich our lives. For those of you who don't know what bohemians are, we cover that. But if you've just got to head out the door and you just want to hear my sweet voice one last time before jumping into your day or off a bridge or something, bohemians are the type of person who will tell you what art is and how it is supposed to enrich your life. At length. Ad nauseum. Add an egg so you feel self-worth by symbolically putting your ovaries into your husband's birthday cake while you smoke cigarettes, because then you'll have your own penis. Did you not do your Edward Bernays homework from a few months back? Well, just so you know, business and marketing people are the new dominant evolutionary force. They have no idea what they're doing, and they can do a lot of it. And they don't care how many people die. Oh, and also know this. The George Papadopoulos that you may have been hearing about on the news, the one connected to the most recent rehashing of the lizard gray Nordic weirdo agreement about transdimensional something or other, I think it's being covered in the media as some sort of presidential scandal with Russia. Tell that to the submarines meeting under the ice caps, right? Anyway, this George Papadopoulos is not the adoptive father of Webster. We want to make that clear, even if it clips a little bit on the old microphone there. We had a listener recently fly all the way from Atlanta out here to Seattle to voice his concerns. And after some very good-natured gang stalking, we can definitely say that these two guys, George Papadopoulos and George Papadopoulos, are two different guys. And now that you can breathe easier and get the kids out of the shelter, I'm going to stop talking and throw to David, who was live at the scene of our talk a few months ago. God damn it. Breathe easier, wasn't kidding.
When we were all teenagers, do you remember any kind of like threatening teenage thing that was going on? Like, if you call this number, this happens. Or if you do this, will this happen to you? Do you guys remember any of that stuff?
Oh, God. So many. Honestly, most of the ones I remember now are ones that my mom brought to me recently that she heard on Fox News that are from like a million years ago. Like, don't blink your headlights.
Oh, shit.
Like when someone doesn't have their lights on at night, don't blink your headlights at them because
I forgot about that one.
They're in a gang, or probably originally it was like a Satanist cult, and they're going to come murder you. But that's the kind of thing I hear recently.
Yeah. Do you remember anything, Jason?
I just remember the porno 1-800 numbers, and
that is not the same thing as you being threatened.
Were you going to get murdered by porno?
Yeah, were they going to come after you?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that's right. This is Southern Baptist, so yeah, I guess technically, like, that is sort of a horror story.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's implied that you're going to burn for eternity.
I vaguely remember those numbers about, like, suicide outreach and,
Or, like, Bloody Mary, if you say it in the mirror in the bathroom.
I also know, what is it? Was it 1-800-SUICIDE? It's a Gravediggers song. Yeah.
So, anyway, I was laying in bed last night, and I was...
As you are wont to do.
Yeah. I was looking at my news stuff. I usually go look at news shit just to see what's going on. And something popped up that had the creepiest fucking photo I've ever seen. It actually really creeped me the fuck out. And the story is that apparently it's a new game that's on the internet. It's on like WhatsApp and stuff like that. That it's called a MoMo. MoMo. And apparently you add this number to that app or however, and you call it, and then you answer the person or whatever will answer the phone, and when you call it, this is what's looking at you when you call the number.
Oh, more of those weird
Yeah, it's
exaggerated smiley faces.
odd.
The eyeballs is what gets me. I don't mind the smiley face. The eyeballs. I don't like bulging eyeballs. Anything.
Yeah.
And that's what creeped me out. So I was like, that's disturbing looking. I don't
Yeah.
like
So
anything.
you got an app where that thing calls you?
It'll show up as that on the WhatsApp thing.
So really, they're
It's like
they're
it's
saving
masked.
me the trouble of Google imaging
Yeah.
weird smiley
Yeah.
girl face.
Well, apparently that's a sculpture that a Japanese artist did.
Okay.
And the Japanese artist nicknamed it MoMo. She has the artist has no affiliation with what's going on. They just use that image because it's a creepy fucking image.
I was also nicknamed Momo once.
Oh, no kidding.
Briefly on a construction site in California. It lasted I think a week.
Anyway, so apparently if you call this number or you video chat with it, that face will show up and it's supposed to actually talk to you and say shit to you and blah 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 blah.
Okay.
But apparently it's also supposed to be it's supposed to give you tasks to do, sorta. Well, it's supposed to tell you to kill yourself. And it's supposed to keep on and it's supposed to continue to call you. It will continue to call you to kill yourself along with sending you images of really graphic shit, apparently. So even after you call it.
Isn't that the relationship that the FBI and Martin Luther King Jr. had? So
yes.
they were really ahead of their time.
And so, apparently, from what news sources say, so take it as far as you can throw it, a lot of this has been happening also in, Argentina and Russia and shit like that. And, apparently, there's 130 deaths linked to this. So to take it or leave it if that's true or not. And it's been going on for a little bit. This is the newest one. Apparently, they're also relating this to another one called the Blue Whale Challenge, which was sort of the same thing. But this happened in 2015.
So blue whale tells you to kill yourself.
Yeah, we had someone that was telling you what to do, and you'd listen, and the other person would listen, and apparently the person that was in charge would give the tasks to do this stuff that would get harder and harder each day. One was being you carve a whale into your arm. So yeah, just crazy shit. And
I think it's a Carvel viral ad.
Yeah.
Next thing you got to do. I can only think of Patton Oswalt versions. I can only think of Patio Cripley. I can't think of the original Carvel cakes.
And
God.
I just wonder, with the Blue Whale thing that happened in 2015, now this Momo challenge, whatever it is, with some creepy face. Granted, the face is creepy as fuck. I mean, you can look it up. It's a creepy looking face. The Japanese person that did the sculpture of that face is real creepy. Good job.
I mean, those modern horror image trope cliches, whatever.
Yeah.
A little worn out, if you ask me at this point, but it's still, it counts. I mean,
I don't like big eyes.
I would totally kick it out of bed.
I would definitely, yes. It's something I wouldn't want to see in the dark in my room or in my house, hanging out in the corner. I would get the fuck out of my house.
Of course, neither are any of the things that I like in life. You know, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I really don't like anything looking at me.
No. Or
like
crawling towards me, or walking towards me real slow. I don't like any of that.
Or even being very polite and being like, "I'm sorry. I know that my face is full of knives, but I'm just passing through. They should just let me sleep."
However, when reading this story, yes, the face creeped me out, and I was like, this really, I don't like looking at this. But for some reason, I kept on wanting to look at it. I was like, why do I want to keep on looking at this? Oh, because it's just something creepy, and I can't look away from it. But I do wonder now, how many, I wonder how many, does this happen every other decade or every decade where you have some crazy new, teenage, dude, try this shit out. Look at this stuff. I feel like
you want to call it and see?
Not really. I don't really care.
Start communicating with it. Maybe it just calls you at the most inopportune moments.
Well, one source is
interrupting you.
It's definitely a purely let's fuck with teenagers that don't know much about how things work. Because another thing is hey, we got all your information. If you call, they have all your information.
They're now selling you. They're now selling you to everyone.
Yeah, we have all your stuff. We're gonna start posting your pictures online and blah blah blah. And
that's the new horror fear.
It makes me wonder, so I guess in the 70s there's probably stuff like Gravity Hill and Bloody Mary and shit like that, probably even before that, but I'm just curious what would the next one be? Will it get more outlandish and more crazy since, phones are getting better and technology's getting better to do crazy shit?
As soon as they start putting the computer thing in your contact lens, then there's all sorts of space for wackadoo craziness like that, because, Google Glass didn't work because it was stupid looking. Not because the general concept of like having a HUD in your daily life, a heads-up display, if you will, is a bad idea. So once that happens, like, you'll then be able to be like, I want you to put into my vision some weird ass shit to scare me, and you're gonna get at least 55 driving deaths if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like some digitally induced schizophrenia.
Yeah. So does that mean that you can also like do it to like scare people with different things? Like you just find out what they're scared of and pop it in their fucking contact?
Yep.
Oh, that'd be something.
Anything you wanted, because don't forget anything that you can make, someone can take control of. I imagine at that point they'd have some pretty beefy. They'd either have really beefy security for it, or all that quantum computer shit would be going, and there'd be no more fucking privacy or security anyway. So who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I just thought it was real interesting. It's a very creepy thing. Luckily,
I wonder what it talks to you about.
At least they're not eating fucking crayons.
That's true.
At least they've stopped eating crayons.
Yeah, it's probably like some pre-recorded, already
Listen,
done.
these young millennial kids, they're really misunderstood and undervalued because they're not eating crayons anymore.
Nope.
So these kids are fucking stepping up, and they're showing the rest of us, unless we're one of them somehow, they're showing the rest of us that they are the fucking new shit. They're gonna take over because they're not eating crayons or fucking drinking laundry detergent anymore. Because that's where the bar is.
They just hit it real high.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fucking Fosbury 2000 flop over that son of a bitch. Which the first step is to stop eating fucking crayons.
Yeah, that is the first step.
And this has been Perfectly Normal Radio. You can find this program, among other fun things, at PersonorPersons.com. Once again, that's PersonorPersons.com. Or look for Perfectly Normal Radio wherever you look for podcasts. The old thanks again and more are in the show annotations, so be sure and drink your Ovaltine over at PersonorPersons.com for stuff you might want to know about stuff we might want to tell you. Like, thanks for listening.
No, I agree you should have given it to him, but you should have done a better job.